Drinks, food, art, fun. This is Hops and Spirits Kentucky.
I think the seasons have officially changed here in Kentucky, and welcome back to another edition of the Hops and Spirits Kentucky podcast. We're here to hopefully warm you up. We have a great chat with Against the Grain. A couple of the co-founders join us this week for the Q&A. It's a blast. We had them back on in 2020 on the original Hops and Spirits podcast on the Bar Conversations. If you want to hear that one, they've got a great story to share with us. And before we get to that, let's get into some news and notes. We start off with November anniversaries for Kentucky's craft breweries. Chimara Brewing celebrated its birthday November 1st and Wooden Cask on November 12th. But we still have a few more coming up. Monarch Beer celebrates on November 18th, Better on November 19th, Flywheel on November 22nd, and Ethereal on November 29th. So lots of breweries celebrating birthdays this month. As always, go check them out and enjoy some good beers from them. Also, new pickleball and entertainment is what they're calling it. Entertainment, not entertainment. Entertainment venue is headed to an acre of land within the River Park Place mixed-use development just east of the Big Four Bridge at Waterfront Park in Louisville. The yet-to-be-named concept will feature several outdoor pickleball courts, indoor and outdoor bars, dining options, and a game yard. The development is spearheaded by a local partnership between 1020 Craft Brewery co-founder John Flotter and Core Real Estate Partners co-founder Lee Wayland. An opening date is slated for sometime in 2023. And also coming to Lexington, an entertainment venue, I guess we could call it as well. Par 6 Social, an upscale sports bar, is expected to open in February 2023 in the former Bar Louie spot at the Fayette Mall in Lexington. The entertainment center will have 3 Top Golf swing suites holding up to 8 people. Additionally, the pub will feature 13 large TVs and menu of bar favorites like burgers, wings, and beers. That's Par 6 Social coming to the mall in Lexington. But up next is our Q&A with 2 of the co-founders from Against the Grain Brewing in Louisville. We welcome in Sam Cruz and Jerry Gnagy, who join us for, let's just say, a hilarious episode. And if you're listening, you should probably watch it because these 2 guys are animated, and I have no words. That's all I have to say. Enjoy.
Remember to check out Hops and Spirits on social media at Hops Spirits, all one word, on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and Twitter. You can also find Hops and Spirits on YouTube and at hopspirits.com.
Joining us here for our Q&A is 2 of the 4 co-founders of Against the Grain over in Louisville. Please welcome in Sam Cruz and Jerry Gnagy.
Hi, I'm Jerry Gnagy. Sam Cruz. Sam Cruz.
I'm glad you said that. So for those that are watching or listening, you really need to watch to see these 2 guys, because I think it's going to be a fun one, because it's been a while since we've chatted, and now I've got technology. We're not huddled around phones trying to do this. Things have come a long way. So, but for those that may not have listened to that first episode or might not know, the Cliff Notes version of about yourselves, but maybe not the whole story, because we got some good stories to tell.
Cliff Notes about ourselves. Me? Well, a little bit. I'm 43. Against the Grain. Cliff Notes about us.
Mm-hmm.
We're going on our 12th year of existence. We were incorporated, or is that the right word when you're an LLC? Sure. We were LLC'd in 2010, late 2010. And within about a year, we had gotten our shit together and we're underway as an operating business, which is pretty crazy considering we know nothing about operating a business.
Luckily, we know how to con people out of a little bit of money.
Yeah, that is one thing we're very good at, but just a very little bit.
It's not very much.
No.
That's, unfortunately, we're not big con artists. We're kind of middling con artists, but
strong enough to take down the weak ones.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
There's something to be said about that. No one gets suspicious.
Right. There we go. Just waiting to be conned eventually. Anyways,
it's a circle con. Somebody cons us, we con somebody else, and it just keeps rolling.
Yeah, that could be a beer name. That could be a beer name for y'all.
So we're very fortunate to have landed a really visible space in Louisville. Our Smokehouse, which is our flagship location, 15-barrel brew house. About 40 years old, would you say?
Yeah, it is. It literally
it's about a 40-year-old brew house.
Yeah.
It's a piece of crap.
Yeah, exactly. There's no one else that can work it. Nobody else should nor wants to work on that one. So now I'm the one kicking it.
He's still healthy. Look at him.
I have to kind of look healthy.
You get a workout every day going up all those stairs.
Wasted away.
At least it looks better than my top hat.
That's true.
Yeah. So we've done some really great things there. You know, we again have been alive for 12 years, survived one of the most dramatic economic impacts that our world has seen. So we've done well with that. But from that, we were able to launch a production facility, which is where we're sitting now. It's a very nice space. That's about 30% finished, I would say. But it's warm, and it keeps the rain off of us.
Warm in the summer. It's cold in the winter.
Yeah. It's nice.
Doesn't flood too much.
Yeah. We got a new roof one time.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's been really great. You know, we have a lot of capacity here. We're able to produce the beers and get them where we feel like it should be throughout the United States and the world. It's one thing that's always been paramount to us is maintaining a certain level of quality. We are brewers, and beer is the most important thing that we do. So having that degree of quality, consistency, and being able to be who we are has been great. We've been doing it for a long time now. So I'm 43. I think I was 13 when we started.
Disgusting. I know it.
Now, what drew you both into the craft beer brewing scene? Because, like you said, you guys were doing this before you launched Against the Grain, and we'll even talk a little bit about that in one of the stories on how Against the Grain launched. But what drew you guys to craft beer back in the day?
I think really probably problem drinking, I would say, was the best way. As a teenage and then maybe in my early 20s binge drinker, I really enjoyed alcohol and trying different varieties of alcohol, and had landed on some craft beer via a friend and thought, God, you can not only binge drink, but also it tastes good when you do. And that graduated and matured into binge drinking less and learning more about it and becoming, ultimately, I just, the first sip of beer to me was a magical moment. I fell in love with it. And it's always been something that's been a part of my life. So, take that for what it is.
Not the same way. It was, I was 14 years old and looked at the beer making kit that was in Field and Stream from the library, and I ordered it with a couple other friends so we could have our own stash of beer, not have to ask the town idiot to go buy it for us. That was a little risky. So it turns out we made all right stuff. We're throwing it in a snowdrift in the dead of winter, so you could have some cold beers after you smuggle them out of the house in the basement. That was good. But frankly, I really enjoyed the process. I loved learning about it. I couldn't read enough about it. I had to learn how to read actually first, and then when I did, I looked a lot of the pictures and gleaned as much as I could from that. So that was where it all started for me. And then when I got into professional setting, I enjoyed so much more of all the disciplines that you have to know along with it: chemicals, microbiology, just electricity, plumbing, all those things. Always keeps me interested to solve problems, and that's what I like most of all. I like beer, but I like solving problems in sometimes creative ways.
Creating problems also.
Yeah, he creates the problems I try to solve.
The yin and the yang of the team, right?
Oh yeah, Jerry's had myself back all the time.
He's a student for life. This guy was a module 1.
Module 1, that's right.
Yeah, the master brewers, not to be confused with masturbators association.
No, I've already got all the modules completed on that one.
Oh,
Even
nice.
been doing other people just the practice.
Oh,
anyway, I'm so sorry. Luckily, that's going to get edited out. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see.
Through
is
that,
that a video of you?
yeah, it's just on the. Anyway, the International Brewing, International. I don't even remember what it's called.
IBB.
Institute of Brewing and Distilling. They have a internationally recognized program for diploma breweries, or a diploma in brewing. So it's 3 years, or you can take them all at one time if you're smart, but I'm not, so I'm taking them 1 year at a time. Module 1 I already passed, got D-, but that's passing. Now I'm on to Module 2. Once I get the 3rd, I get the little letters behind my name, which are all pretty much useless, but
At least you get it. At least
well,
you get it.
it is fascinating to keep learning in that way.
Well, and for you two, when you guys decided to launch Against the Grain, I remember this story, and I feel like it has to be shared. How much of an impact were the pirate statue and the salad bar, and forcing you all to go out on your own?
Oh,
And still to this day I see a pirate statue, stop and have that shiver run down my spine.
Yeah.
It was profound. I mean, we were just talking about Pat.
No, you mean Hat. We can't, a guy named Hat Pagan. Let's just call him Hat Pagan from here on out.
Is he? He's trademarked. Oh, yeah. No,
No,
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah, Hat Pagan.
But yeah, he was an inspiration. He doesn't know what an inspiration he was. Just acting paddish,
Haddish. Yeah.
paganish. He drove us out. He made the pain of staying less than the pain of going, and we started.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to explain about the pirate statue?
Yeah, I think still, and also
He
still to
called me,
this
yeah.
day, it's still a driving kind of force. There's not a day that goes by that I don't have that moment of like, so, and I speak in this voice that Pat never had. Pat never had. But back to the pirate statue. So one day I walk into our former employer's place. We'll call it BBC, whatever that means to you.
Yeah, it could be a lot of things.
Yeah, just Google that, just that. Anyways, that place, there was a pirate statue kind of hooker, like a very voluptuous, scantily clad pirate statue woman with a tray standing there, and it kind of hit me. I was like, what is this? What the hell is this? And Hat Pagan, who the owner of BBC, whatever you think that might mean, says, oh, that's why I picked that up on vacation. I got it for X number of dollars, far too much. And what do you think? And I'm like, that has nothing to do with what this actually is. And so I quietly, seething inside, walked away and immediately called Jerry and said, hey, Jerry, I know you've got some things going on here. I don't know how long I can stay here. This isn't representing me well. I've got to go. I'm going to look for something. I'll never forget him saying, what makes you think I want to stay for that?
Yeah, that was the first shot.
Yeah.
Well, the salad bar as well. I mean,
Oh my
I think
God.
the salad bar was where they had a big meeting with all the managers and Hat was pounding on the table. We need to get younger drinkers in here.
Yeah.
And we want ideas. And I'm like, well, I got other things to do, like productive things. And sure enough, the ideas were bandied about, I imagine.
Mm-hmm.
And they came to fruition in a salad bar that showed up. Because, there's nothing. I tell you what, when you see like the young jet set, go hard crowd, they're usually hanging out at Frisch's.
Yeah.
They're at Shoney's. And they're like flies to poo-poo set to salad bar. Young people to salad bars are like that.
Nothing says a party like
And that's not.
like a six-pan of corn.
Exactly. Exactly. So it was just A, ridiculous, but B, it was a poorly executed salad bar that was just an embarrassment to walk by every day.
Yeah, imagine
So that
like
was
a raft filled with ice, and dirty ass six pans that you'd see in the back of the kitchen getting ready to be washed, with 3 of them having garbanzo beans in them.
Yeah, we have extra spots. We have more garbanzo beans. We don't know. No, these are chickpeas. These are garbanzo beans. This is unprocessed hummus on this.
Yeah.
It's just very odd, and so that was when we knew it was time
to go.
Well, it's just a different mindset. It's like, we're not working here. We're working for ourselves, working to get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the mindset shift. That some things happened along the way that got us, it was one of those
kick in the ass.
Yeah, it was a kick in the ass. So, but we'll never forget Pat Pagan for doing what he did to get us out.
He's inspired.
And he's inspired us till to this day. There's people all over this world that know the story of Hat. And frankly, that story has been embellished so much now.
Yeah, it's not even true.
That we're not even sure what actually happened. But what we do know is our fictional made-up Hat is more famous and well-regarded and well-known around the world than the actual Hat.
Yeah.
Than the actual Pat.
Yeah. He lives in our head too.
Yeah.
Or well, maybe we live in his head. He's so crazy and obsessed with us that he always wants us to talk about him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's weird. I bet, he's so weird that and obsessed that he tattooed his face on my body. Well, no, I did that, but I'm sure he's got a tattoo of me
He's got to be
somewhere
a little
too.
bit crazier, I'd say.
He's got to be tattooed
Yeah.
with us, I imagine.
So
He's obsessed.
he's a definitely. We need to call the cops.
So just a little bit of an impact, right? Just a little bit of an impact. And
Positive.
so when you were finally on your way to launching what became Against the Grain, how did that go for y'all? Because I know when we were talking kind of before we hit the button, it's never like you guys have had that flush of investors that came on that you guys could kind of do anything and everything, but you were able to find a spot that's been your home for since the beginning.
Yeah, it was really dumb luck, honestly. Getting really defeated by what we were in the real estate market around and flirted with many different places. Are there? Are you frozen? Okay. All right.
We're good.
We had went around and flirted with a lot of different places and put in, the attempt to get the space and really got shut down every time because we were so inexperienced, underfunded, and ultimately, I just don't think those real estate owners believed in the concept of craft beer. Fortunately for us, there was a flailing and fumbling craft brewery at Louisville's AAA baseball stadium downtown. The city was on its heels dealing with that. The owner of that business was really, I hate to say he's such a great guy, but he was broken from the experience and just wanted out. So ultimately, it was him passing his problem off to us and us finding, it being an opportunity for us. So really the stars and planets aligned so that we could get that really great location with incredible visibility. And we were able to kind of take it from there. But it was it was a really shot in the dark. I mean, it was a phone call like, hey, we want this. It's not for sale. Well, maybe is it? No, it's got a lien on it.
Right.
You guys take care of this lien.
And that was it's also the timing of it was very important. That was in Nulu's infancy, in New Louisville, that area. The arena was only maybe 3 years old, and so all the businesses that were coming up that street, you didn't have Angels Emmy across the street at that point in time. You had a bombed out, burned out building, that they just knocked down across from us. So I said, if we would started 2 years earlier at that space, we might not have made it.
Yeah.
If we'd started 2 years later, we might not have been able to afford it. So we were just right.
Stars and planets align.
Yep. Somebody wants us here.
and I'm sure you're loving every day going up those many stairs to that very tall building to do everything right, Jerry? Just to...
Yeah. Thank you for rubbing the salt in my wounds.
Yeah, I've never. I
I
haven't been up there. I don't even know what it's like up there anymore.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It's not any better than it is.
Now, since then, though, you guys have added, like you said, you're in the production facility, you got the public house, you even expanded a little further, but you've kind of contracted back to the original, I guess, the main three now. So can you talk a little bit about the expansion and then obviously a few things that bets just didn't work out?
Yeah, I think at the beginning of the I don't want to say post-pandemic. They said it's now, but to us, it was the moment we were allowed to do business was post-pandemic. We had some windfall opportunity with government assistance and thought, this is a good time to reinvest in our city and see if we can hang with the expansion into different markets and different diversified businesses. Well, upside, I think we learned a lot. Downside, it was too early. I think those businesses that we have since kind of schlepped off and gotten rid of ultimately were a drag. And, I think if we had more time, we could do something with them, but ultimately it's not best for what we care about most and what we do best, which is beer. So, the realization that we shouldn't hold on to these, we should continue to focus on what we actually do well came. And it was a very easy choice to say, let's get rid of this stuff and get back to the core and meat of what we do. It's actually been pretty invigorating, to be honest with you. I think my interest in the business has increased tenfold with that happening, and it's good. It's a good thing. So that craft beer's in a crazy place. People want to drink, and fruit puree with some beer in it and vanilla dust and seltzers.
Well, yeah, those things always had to be very local things. To there, we were a brewery that shipped to 40 states at one point in time, and 11 countries, or maybe more than that. And so we saw the writing on the wall maybe around 2018, which was banner years for sales. But that, like, everything needs to be drawn and contracted back in, because everything outside of our region is shifting sand. So it goes along with we got the public house in November of 19, and that was just coming, and we had changed our whole distribution model in 2019, rolling into our push was March of 2020. Is like everything's set to do what we wanted to do. Well,
shattered.
Fuck.
Yeah.
But also, we're still in that area where we want to be Louisville's beer. We want to be Kentucky's beer, and we're still working towards that place, still selling outside, but our focus is right here. And part of the expansion is we're more retail locations to do that, especially with the ability to move beer self-distributed, small amount in the state. So all that played in the decisions of that. It's just we were a little early and just weren't quite ready for that.
Well, but you guys have had, you guys like to have fun regardless of what's going on, and you guys have been able to do a lot of fun collaborations lately, whether it's I think with the distilleries, other breweries. What's it like to be able to have fun with your friends in the industry and even in the spirits industry?
Well, yeah, it's great, obviously. Most of all because they usually, if you go to their place, you get to drink for free and stuff like that, and get a T-shirt so you can wear it. So you have something to cloak.
Chicks. There's chicks everywhere.
Really? But also you get to learn, how other people do things, and look down your nose at them and judge them silently when they do things that you don't approve of.
Yeah, I think the most exciting element of that for me is like Jerry said, you do get to go there and learn from them, see what they're doing, and also a lot of times justify what you're doing, whether it be similar practice or noticing how terrible they are with what they're doing.
But also, it stretches you at having to do some different ideas that maybe if in a vacuum at the pub, I might be making this lineup of beers because it fits into what I want to do, and it fits into like what I know is coming up, or maybe a time of the year, or maybe an ingredient we have that we want to use. When you get collaborations with people, now it starts to stretch those ideas and bring in some other things like the Magnanimous collab. I would not have been making a macadamia nut beer because it's just too freaking hard to do. Now I've got to put the effort in, and that ultimately it'll be worth it.
Macadamia, or I've had one. It's cookies, maybe.
Yeah, macadamia chocolate cookies. Well, I got a lot of flour. If you want to try it. So things like that.
Well, and then you guys have had some good pub lately. I mean, Carson Daly, basically said your beer tastes like marijuana. That had to be awesome to see.
Yeah, it was cool. I mean, it does, sort of, as an avid consumer of news about marijuana and information about how it tastes and feels. I've never tried it. I've never inhaled or anything like that. I can see why he would say that, but I also don't think he knows what he's talking about. It tastes like beer to me, Citra hops. But nonetheless, the pub was good. The opportunity to be on the Today Show is cool. Anytime you can do stuff like that, it's really neat. So we're very excited. I harken back to what Jerry just said. We get a lot of opportunity and attention here locally, and it's been really nice. The craft beer is hyper local now. It's very local. The number of breweries in the United States, indicates that people want to drink at their own place. They want to spend a certain amount of money. So getting the credit here at home has been really great. And we've seen that kind of grow here. It's been exciting.
Well, I was gonna say VinePair just said you guys had the best a beer in Kentucky, right? The 70K.
Mm-hmm. It's like beating up on kindergartners, though. What do we do? We got a guy who passed module 1.
No, we've been doing this for a little while.
Beating
I'm
up on
sure.
the
I'm
kid.
sure. Yeah. Yeah. That's right. Yep. It's only a few more years till I off probation on that one. Anyway, yes, I don't use CBD. Are we still in the marijuana one? Only suppository.
That's it.
Okay.
Next question. All right. So, like I said, everything with you guys goes back to, I think, having a good time, because that's what beer in this industry is about, having a good time with good people. Obviously you got Sit Your Ass Down, the Brown Note. How much fun do you guys have coming up with names? And is it harder now because you've set set that expectation that you got to have something wild and crazy?
It is harder now.
I think it's
Well,
not for
even
me,
if we're
but
older,
I've
now
bad.
now that we're older, it's actually harder.
Weird.
It's usually not that way. I usually got to
Usually
take
it goes
pills.
the other way. Yeah.
All green tea on Loopy. Anyway, go
Horny
ahead.
goat weed.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think I really ever made good earrings. So they've always
It was
sucked.
only Vidal Sassoon.
Vidal, that's probably the
Vidal
best.
Saison is probably the best,
It's,
since you've done
if you
that.
don't
I
drink
like
it,
that one.
That was a good one. It was good.
I like that one.
It's I don't know. I think whether it's the name, whether it's the promotion, whether it's the actual beer, there's got to be a reason that we do this beyond the financial reward. I've got a stain on my shirt and I'm still driving the same car with 200,000 miles plus on it. It's got to be fun.
Yeah.
Of all the things we do, we have to have a good time. But what we've really noticed over these years, and it was something that we knew in the beginning too, if we're having a good time, so is everybody else. And I think that that's very important. You said it, beer is supposed to be fun. It shouldn't be so stuffy and ridiculous. And when we see that, when we see people take it to that level, it ceases being exciting for other people. And we don't want that. We want to have a good time, and we want them to.
Yeah, I just think of, I can't even say the name of the best brewery in the world without saying Hillshire Farmstead. and I think of the sausage. I don't know how many times I pitched that idea to people of like, we do a smoked sausage beer called Hillshire Farmstead. And they always laugh, and then they say, we shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Well,
I get mad at you. You
Yeah.
got to name it like
Like-
Epiphany or Terry or something like that.
But why it's harder now is I think it's just the bandwidth of your own mind. We're running, with those 5 places now, 3, you're still running around quite a bit, and you're just trying to maybe get the beer in the right spots and make sure everything's pouring right, get the service trained, and I have 3 minutes to think about a beer day for what's going on tap tomorrow.
Cold ass beer.
Yeah, that's sometimes it works. Sometimes it's like, oh man, we missed an opportunity with I can't remember what it was, but
Is it buckwheat? The buckwheat beer?
I don't think that was one.
Well, and then too, you give your graphic designer a little bit of fun too. Is there ever a time where they're just like, you want what on a label, or do they come up with some craziness too?
We don't make so many new labels anymore. We've dialed it back somewhat, but yes, there have been many. Like I've asked for a gun to a baby's head. He wouldn't do it. Then the TTB gets in the way. The damn TTB.
Overbearing nanny state government.
They
Thanks a
won't.
lot,
They don't.
Obama.
No dicks. Or are we allowed to say?
Yeah, we're talking about beer. It's totally
dick.
fine.
You can't have dicks on anything, which is bullshit.
No ejaculating penises is what they say.
Yes.
I believe, right?
Yes, no ejaculating phallus.
Yeah.
None of that. Which is
We had to sell that all out of the country because it could not be licensed here. And
the only
that
route,
was a good one.
The only route I could take when we sent it was a baby's arm with the hand cut off, but a ghost hand holding an apple. If you're older than 35, you should know what that means. And then there was ghosts everywhere, kind of ejaculating out of the apple. And the TTB sends back a note and says, "This is lewd. You absolutely know that this is an ejaculating phallus. You can't do this. It's crude, blah, 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 blah." All I could do, the only comeback I had was, how dare you? That is an apple and an arm, and those are ghosts. How dare you? What's going on there that you people think these things?
Sounds like they've got some issues to work out. If that's what you see dicks everywhere.
Yeah,
like Tootsie Rolls to you. Weird TTB people.
Yeah, it just didn't work out though. They came back with no.
They said,
They were hard and firm, but no.
Yes,
yeah.
weirdos.
Well, you mentioned that you guys are trying to get things a little more focused back here in Kentucky. So where can folks find your beer? And are you still out in all those other states and countries?
We are in 17 states with the addition of 2 or 3 more here soon. For the most part, we're east of the Mississippi. We do have Arizona, Colorado, Nebraska. Is Wisconsin? Where's that? It's in the north.
Yeah, Wisconsin, Minnesota.
We're on our side of the U.S.
Yeah.
You can find us. Total Wine actually is a big supporter of our brand. We're in a lot of Total Wines throughout our side of the U.S. In addition to that, we're looking at moving some beer into Canada, and I don't know. We'll see. We're really the shifting sands, as Jerry said, is really, trying to be stable in that environment is the best thing we can do. But for the most part, you can find us in Kentucky, Indiana, Ohio, Tennessee, Illinois, around us,
But yeah, but also it's just the change in distribution that we've made over the past few years has allowed us to dig deeper into the state and especially locally. Our Kentucky wholesalers have been great partners.
Yeah.
And it's been a learning curve for probably both of us. But almost probably 65% of our sales to 75% of our sales happen in Kentucky and Indiana. So we are local. We're going to expand that.
Yeah.
As maybe those shifting stands contract, we'll be growing right here. So again, it's slow because we got tripped up during the time where we're going to run right at the pandemic time, and now it's like picking up the pieces in a new world and find a way forward.
It's fun though.
Well, I was gonna say that goes into my last question is what is next for y'all, and what can you tell us? I would say that wouldn't get you in trouble, but I think we're well past that.
The line. I mean, we're holding the line in terms of where we are and what we are, but I think ultimately, and this is kind of a higher level answer, but we're very excited and committed to being who we are. There was a point 4 years ago where craft had exploded, and it really was phenomenal growth for everybody. Mm-hmm. In doing that, you kind of lose some of the elements of your identity and who you are, and that's a challenge to cope with. And being afforded an opportunity to dig back in and refocus and really recommit to that is exciting and fun to me. One thing we said it, I think we said it in one of the beer descriptions, we make and sell more smoked beer than anybody. Maybe Alaskan Porter does more, but I doubt it.
Yeah.
Man, that's a great.
Outside of Bamberg, we're probably the best.
Yeah.
I mean, all the have sold the most.
That's a real exciting thing as a brewer and brewery owner and somebody who's committed to all of these unique styles of beer in our culture. That is exciting. And so you're going to see that. You're going to see that commitment be stronger than ever. And like Jerry said, our focus on our local market and doing things here that really accentuate what a great place we live in is. So what do you got? Anything? Nothing flowery?
No. No, really.
Nothing floral?
I can't remember the question.
Yeah.
Repository kicked in. No, I don't know. No, I mean, yeah, absolutely. Like we said, we're a small brewery in the terms in the world. Mm-hmm. But we're a small brewery right here. So we are, planning on being, increasing our production, but all that production want to be local. We want to be Louisville's beer at some point in time. It's just things like that take time, and once they turn over, I think we'll be in a good spot. Mm-hmm. We'll be here forever until they put the chip on the doors. Public way.
Cut those off. Go back in. There's a squatter.
There'll be no stopping you two.
Yeah, as long as we have the bedroom furniture up here, I think we can technically call this a house.
I love it. Sam, Jerry, this is a blast as always. And folks, if you haven't, go try some Against the Grain beer. It's amazing. And also it's just a fun story to look at the art, to see what you guys have created, the story that goes with it. And this was a blast.
Thank you so much.
Find more from Hops and Spirits at hopspirits.com.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.